Let's look at the solution for modThree. Given an array of ints, return true if the array contains either 3 even or 3 odd values all next to each other. So now we can start looking at the solution. Since we want to find 3 values that are either even or odd all next to each other, we must first assert that the array has more than 3 elements, or 3 or more elements. So we will check if the length of the array is less than 3. Because if that's the case, then this will never be true. So we can just return false. And now we know that we have an array of at least 3. So now let's iterate through the array nums. So we can use a for loop. The reason why we are only iterating up until nums.length minus 3 is because for each element, we're going to check if the 2 elements next to that element, so 3 in a row, are also even or odd. So let's say we reach this element, so we're at the first index and we check the next 2 elements, and then we're at the second index and we check the next 2, and so on. Once we reach this element here and we check the next 2, we reach the end of the array. So if we then move on to the next index, so the second to last element in the array, and we try to check the following 2 elements, then we will have an error, because after this, the array is done. So there's no more elements to check, and we will get an error. That's why we stop looping through the array once we reach the element at the second to last index. Alright, so then for each element, we're going to check if it's even or odd, and if the following 2 elements are also even or odd. And the way we check if something is even or odd is by using the modulus operator. So we'll first check if nums I mod 2 is equal to nums I plus 1. Mod 2, and we want to check that nums I mod 2 is equal to nums I plus 2 mod 2. So we're checking that the first and the second element are even, and then we're checking that the first and the third element are even or odd. And that way we know that if both these conditions hold true, then all 3 numbers in a row are either even or odd. So if that's true, we just return true. And then for every other case, we return false. Let's check, and it's correct. So I hope this solution was useful to you, and I hope you have a nice day.